Liberty View for Read Across America Week for our West region. Today, I'm going to read to you Redwoods by Jason Chin. I love this front cover. I've read this to some classes, so this might be a repeat. The inside page shows this boy. It looks like maybe he's at a train stop. He's sitting on a bench, and look what someone's left behind. See the connection? It looks like the book, the front cover. And here's our title page. I love this. Look at the title page. There's a girl in the redwoods. I think you'll see that picture again. This illustrator, Jason Chin, did a great job of connecting his pictures. The coast redwoods are among the oldest trees in the world. Their ancestors lived about 165 million years ago during the Jurassic dinosaur period. So when the dinosaurs lived was when the redwoods got started. One tree can live for more than 2,000 years, which means there are more trees alive today that first sprouted during the Roman Empire. So the trees that are alive today lived in a time of these two men. And look, the boy's reading the book to get all this information. Redwoods have shallow root systems that travel more than 100 feet from the tree. They help the tree stand, and they need all the help they can get because, and look at this when he's leaving the subway. It talked about the roots, and there it is. They are the tallest living things on the planet. Redwoods regularly grow to be more than 200 feet tall. And look, he stepped off of his subway station or train station, and he's into the redwood forest. The book has transported him. And doesn't he look like the front cover? A redwood trunk can be 29 feet in diameter at its base. That's so wide a tunnel could be cut in it, big enough for a car to drive through. And maybe you can make a connection if you've ever been to California and seen the redwoods. Amazingly, such a tall tree starts from a seed the size of a tomato seed. A 1-inch long cone that houses the seed falls to the ground, and if the conditions are right, the tree will sprout. With enough light and water, a redwood sapling can grow fast, up to 2 feet per year. Redwoods also grow from other redwoods. When a tree falls down or is cut, new trees can sprout from the big round masses along its trunk called burls. Often, several trees will grow from one of the burls on the stump. If you see a ring of redwoods in the forest, they probably all sprouted from the same burl or stump. One reason that redwoods are able to live for so long and be so tall, or they're very good at defending themselves. Their wood contains a lot of tannin, a chemical that protects them from fungal infections and insect infestations. Redwoods are also suited to live well through forest fires. If there's a fire, the extremely thick bark shields them from the heat, just like the heat-resistant tiles on the space shuttle. Their branches don't start up until very high, almost 200 feet in some cases, which also help protect them from the fire, since most forest fires can't even reach up as high as their needles. Even if a fire penetrates a redwood's bark, the tree can still live. In some cases, a huge portion of the center of the trunk has been burned out, but the tree keeps on growing. In many ways, fires actually help redwoods by clearing out other plants that would otherwise compete for resources like water and soil. Coast redwoods need a lot of water to grow as tall as they do. And in the area of Northern California where they live, it's perfect. It's like a rainforest. The air is cool and damp, and the land is often covered in thick fog. It takes a long time for water to travel all the way from the roots to the top of a redwood. And the fog helps the trees by preventing them from losing moisture to evaporation. In addition, the needles of a redwood can absorb moisture straight from the air, so they can get moisture from the top and through the root system. In the summer, when there's much less rainfall, redwoods have an ingenious way to collect their water. They make their own rain. When the fog rolls in, it condenses on the redwood's needles, and whatever moisture isn't absorbed then falls to the ground and is soaked up by the tree's roots. Other plants that live at the base of the redwood tree use this artificial rain as well. So not only do the redwoods water themselves, but they water all those plants around them. So that's kind of same philosophy or same reasoning that happens in a rainforest. The branches of a redwood are called the crown or canopy, and they start very high up in the trunk. To study redwood crowns, scientists have to climb into them, and this is not easy. Because the trees are so tall, the researchers use a bow and arrow to launch a rope over the branches. When the rope is secure, they can pull themselves up. This is very dangerous work. When the needles fall off the redwood, they decay and turn to soil. The redwoods are so big, the soil is often collected in the tree itself. Soil that collects in the branches of a tree or in its crevices on its trunk provides a home for other plants, just like you see here. There's plants actually growing out of the side of the tree. Plants that grow on redwoods are called epiphytes. The most common epiphyte found in redwoods are ferns. In one tree, researchers found a mass of ferns weighing more than 1,600 pounds. That's heavier than a full-grown polar bear. Ferns are the not only plants that make their homes in the redwoods. Mosses, fungi, bushes, and even trees grow in the redwood canopy. Researchers have found a wide variety of trees high above the ground, including hemlock, spruce, firs, oaks, and California bays. In one redwood, researchers found a California bay tree growing out of a knothole over 300 feet off the ground. So other trees grow out of the redwoods because they're so large. In addition to plant life, scientists have found many animals living in the redwood canopy, including flying squirrels, beetles, earthworms, centipedes, spiders, salamanders, and yellow banana slugs. Some animals, like red tree voles, live in their whole life in the treetops and they never see the ground. The crown of the redwood can be very complex. As the tree grows, its main branches and the branches of the new trunks crisscross and run into each other, forming a maze of growth. The crown can be so dense that from its interior, you can't see the ground or the sky. Researchers have even gotten lost while exploring the crown of a tree. The largest of all redwoods are in a class of their own called the Titans. For a long time, the record holder for the tallest tree in the whole world was stratosphere giant, measuring a whopping 370 feet tall. But that record was broken in the summer of 2006 when researchers discovered Hyperion, the giant coast redwood, rising 379.1 feet from the ground, and it's still growing. That is 6 stories taller than the Statue of Liberty. So here's the Statue of Liberty. The largest redwood is that much taller. It's taller than a 30-story skyscraper. So here's our skyscraper. Here's that tallest redwood. And look, this shows you really good how the trunk is so tall that the needles don't even start to here. That's why when there's a forest fire down here, the top of the tree doesn't even really burn. It's so tall that if you were to introduce it into a city skyline, it would fit right in. And then this is a page with no words. So let's look at the series of pictures. There's that book. Always leaving something behind. Someone else sees it. There she is. Now let's make a connection, because I said that Jason Chin did some great things with these illustrations. So that's the last page. Let's go back to the title page and look at the title page. You see the girl? And look at that last page. So the last page is the picture on the book of the title page. So that is Redwoods by Jason Chin for our West region.